morning, my creative friends. I hope you can see me. I'm not sure. Hold on a second. My camera stand has had an issue and does not want to cooperate with me. Hopefully that's going to be good. It's going to be what it's going to be, right? So I'll maybe squat down. But anyway, hi. Today I'm finishing up our video on our enfleurage, or enfleurage. I believe it's pronounced enfleurage. I'll have to ask Alexa, but it's spelled E-N-F and so forth. You'll see it in the title. I don't want to misspell it here. But anyway, we're going to finish up that video today. So this is what we ended up with. And watching the video, you'll see what we've done. This is a 4-ounce jar. Let me see. This is a 4-ounce jar of our rose-scented enfleurage. And it smells so sweet. And not only does it smell sweet, but this is full of great nutrients and skin-loving properties because of those rose petals. So I will definitely be using that for some face creams. I didn't make enough this time. My roses just really started blooming, so I will probably make more during this season. This is the opportune time to make an arsenal for yourself. If you're a soaper, or if you make lotions and things like that, this is the time to think about the things that you can make that you don't need to buy and spend all kinds of money on. Let's talk about this. I had a brain storm, or maybe a revolution. That's what I had. Because, let me just say this. Okay, so if you buy from other companies and you buy, say, coffee butter, or you buy lemon butter, or anything like that, you're not necessarily buying just a butter. It's mixed with other things like oils and things like that to give it, I guess, more volume. But if you really want a true, and I'm going to be doing this, lemon butter or an orange butter, make it yourself. Just make it yourself. It'll take a few days. It can take a week. It might take 2 weeks for you to get it to the exact scent load that you want, but make it yourself. You can use unrefined shea butter. You can use coconut oil. You can use, I would not recommend cocoa butter because that's so hard. But you could use mango butter, any of the softer butters. You could use cocoa butter if you wanted to, but I think you're going to limit yourself to where you're going to use those things. But if you use something like an unrefined or a refined shea butter, I use refined shea butter because I only want the scent of what I'm putting in to be what shows up to the party. So if you use coconut oil and you don't use unrefined coconut oil, you're going to have coconut be in your party with your roses. And you may like that, and that's fine. I've seen lots of people in the other videos when I was researching this process that have done that and love it because they just do. I personally don't want that. I only want the scent that I want to do. But anyway, back to we did this with rose petals, as you'll see in the video. But the next one that I'm going to do is lemon. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to thinly peel some lemons, some fresh lemons. I have a lemon tree, a lime tree, a sagasuma tree, a kumquat tree, a grapefruit tree in my yard. So I'm going to peel some lemons, and just the peel, not the white stuff. And I'm going to do the same thing with my shea butter and put those lemon peels in there, and I'm going to sandwich them together, and I'm going to leave them there for 24 to 48 hours, and then come back, and I'm going to take the old ones off and put new ones on. And I'm going to continue to do that until my butter, and only my butter, not any oil, but only my butter, not any wax, just my butter, is fully scented with the lemon. And then I can use that in anything that I want to make that needs shea butter or mango butter, whichever one I choose to use, that I want to have lemon in. So anyway, or basil, or whatever it is that you want to do. You'll see there endless possibilities. Or you could do an oil. But Anyway, we're here today. I'm getting too windy, too long talking. It's been a long weekend, and I'm ready to be back at work. Mother's Day weekend just passed. It was a pretty good weekend. The kids were all just playing in the sprinkler. Well, I don't know what happened there. They were playing in the sprinklers and all those things. That was I just got an order this morning from Making Cosmetics, and I ordered some colloidal oats, and I ordered some zinc ricinoate for my deodorants. So, anyway, I don't know why that decided to jump off. It's been up there for a couple hours now. Guess it was just tired of hanging out. But anyway, back to our video of our enfleurage. So I'm going to go ahead and piece all this together, and I hope you enjoy the content. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I hope that I explained it thoroughly, but if not, I'm open to answer any questions. So I hope you enjoy the video. Bye, creative friends. Well, good morning, friends. Happy Tuesday. I'm back today because it's Tuesday, and the first part of this video, we started making an enfleurage, whatever you want to call it. And so we are back today to work on that. So just wanted to bring you in and say good morning, and we'll be right back to open this up. And I've picked some fresh flowers on my way down to the shop this morning. I'll get gloved up and we'll get going. Okay, so I've gone out to the other room, and I've grabbed my container of rose petals here that are very fragrant. It's important if you're going to make an enfleurage, because you're trying to scent your butter or your oil, that you use a fragrant flower. So I had to use my fragrance roses. Let's use this wax that we put on the top to kind of weight it down. Ooh. Look at that. And there's our butter with all of our flower petals in there. They actually look like they're sort of preserved. Can you see that? Let me see what you can see. Oh yeah, you can see it really good. So now we just have to get these flower petals out of here so that we can replace them with fresh new ones that have scent. I can smell this, though. It smells really nice. And this is going to take a minute, so I probably won't do the whole process with you on camera, just because it's going to take a minute. I will take the opportunity, while we're still on camera, to say to you, when you are making your enfleurage, make sure that you only pick enough petals that can actually be compressed into your butter. There's no need to have a heaping mound up here, because if they never touch the butter, they're not going to fragrance your butter. Whereas if you're doing it in oil, you know you're going to cover your rose petals or violets or whatever it is that you're doing with your enfleurage. Now I will say that you don't have to just use flowers. Maybe you have some fresh peppermint or spearmint or basil, because those are very fragrant herbs that you want to create something with, because you don't have to just use this as a cologne. You can put it in recipes, that any recipe that I'm going to use that calls for shea butter, I could use this. Now, I'm not going to just use it in random recipes, because I'm going through a lot of trouble to fragrance this. So I'm going to whip this up, and it will be used partly in a face cream, and I don't know if I'll do body butters. It may just all be face cream. I'm not sure yet. But this is going to take a minute. So either, let me think if I can think of anything else that we can talk about while I do this, because it's going to be a little tedious. This is a tool that I think I got from Brambleberry, and it's actually a soap beveling and carving tool. I've had it for, oh my goodness, 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure if they still sell them or not, but if you're interested, you could certainly look. I'll try and remember, and I'm not going to make any promises, but I'll try to remember to look and see if it's still available on their site, and if so, I will link it below. I personally did not like it to clean up the edges of the soap because it's hard to get the right pressure constantly, and I found that my beveling was very uneven with this. But now if you have a very steady hand, it may work for you. I don't have a steady hand. Didn't work for me at all. So, but I do like it for other little tasks. So, let's see, anything else? I can't think of anything off the top of my head right this second. So I'm going to pause you, and I'll bring you back when it's time to add our fresh roses, and I think that's just enough to cover. Remember, I started with tea roses, and they were quite small, so the petals are quite small. Well, these are going to be easier to remove because they are larger. I did have some larger ones in here when I started because I added 2, and those were so easy to grab and pull out, where these are just like, oh my Lord. I don't even know what I can attribute to it being like. So anyway, I'm going to pause you, and I'll bring you back when I have most of this done. Okay friends, I'm back, and I didn't remove all of the flowers because I was removing some of the shea butter, and I don't want to do that, and they're looking still pretty okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the new bigger rose petals right down in here, and I think, and I can already smell this. This already smells very nice, like a tea rose, the shea butter does. And so I think what I'm going to do is let this infuse this time, and then I'll do it one more time, and the last time that I put the rose petals on, and then it's time to take them off, what I'm going to do is just melt my, because I don't want to lose any of my shea butter, I'm going to melt this back down enough that I can pour it from this container into my jar, strained, so that I get all of the flower bits out and all of my shea butter still in. And I will do that through a cheesecloth so that I can squeeze any leftover rose scented shea butter. So get the rest of these in here. I'm just gonna push them down in there. And like I said, I think this started in Spain. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've sort of researched it, but I think that's where it started. So this is just an old way of doing it. And they did also take petals and put them in. You can do this in grain alcohol, but the only thing is I have done that, and you still get more of that alcohol scent. You can smell the flower, but it's so, I mean, the alcohol does wear off, but I don't know. It wasn't for me. I didn't like it. So I wanted to try this and see what I can get done in here. Okay, so now, and I'm not even going to bother to remove the rose petals from the top here, but I'm going to put this back on the top, And I'm going to press it down and place our wax back on the top. And I got a whiff of rose. So I'm going to set it aside, and then we'll come back. You can do 24. I liked doing 2 days because I feel like I just get more. And you can see that even after 2 days, that the roses are not brown or anything. So I could have gone a day or so longer, maybe. I can still smell some rose, but most of the scent is in here. So that is what we have for now until we come back to finish this up. Bye, friends. Okay, friends, I'm back. So let's see if this is the jar I'm going to end up putting it in, but to get started, we're going to strain it. And I don't want to make a mess, and I don't want to lose any, so we're using this larger container so that this fits down further in it. I sprayed both of these things down with some rubbing alcohol so that we're good and clean. And this is a flour sack towel, and it's a large one, and I don't cut these down because I use them for so many different projects that are different sizes, so I want to make sure that I have it intact. So I'm going to pour the shea butter with the rose petals through here so I can catch all the rose petals, but then I want it to be able to squeeze out any of the shea butter from whatever rose petals are in here. And I'm going to just tell you, this smells so pretty. So, and this shea butter is a little thicker, so it may take it a minute to sort of drain through, and that's just because I just wanted to melt it just enough that I could strain it. I didn't want it to get too hot, and if you can see around the edges, it still has some hardened shea butter there so that it wasn't so hot. Let's see if I can help this along by gathering this up and lifting it up so we can see that it is definitely draining. And you can definitely smell those tea roses. And again, this is not hot because I didn't make it hot. It is slightly warm, but not even bath water warm. That's pretty gross, right? Okay. So let's put this here. I'm going to have to remove this glove because it is way too oily now. But I will still make sure that my hands are nice and clean with some rubbing alcohol. Okay, and this jar has also been cleaned and sprayed and stored. And so this jar might be a little larger than I need. Let's see if I have any smaller ones. I do. I'm not sure, but this might be big enough. But we're going to find out. So we're just going to, and all of these jars are clean. Okay, that was perfect. So this is a 4-ounce jar. And this was just to show you guys how to do it. You can do it larger, you can do it smaller, and again, you can use any herb or any flower that you want to capture goodness from, or if you want to capture fragrance from. Now, basil is definitely an herb, but it is very fragrant and has many benefits. So is peppermint and rosemary. Rosemary is great in hair care products and skin products. So look how pretty. And it just smells so sweet. I can't wait to add this to some face creams. So I'm not going to cap this now because it is slightly warm. And I don't want any condensation in here, because if I cause condensation, then I'm going to need a preservative because I'm adding water and this will go bad. And so I don't want that at all. So I'm going to set it to the side and let it firm back up and solidify, and then we will cap it, and I will label it that it is rose infused shea butter. So, not that I would have to label it, because if you open it, you know what it is. I will be doing this with some lavender. I'm going to be doing this with some magnolia. I can't find enough honeysuckle to be able to do it. So, don't know if I'll get to do that or not. But if I do find some, enough, and I'd have to have it close enough that I could pick it at least every other day, and it has to be fresh when you use it in your enfleurage, or it's just a waste of time. You can't pick it like the day before and then replace what's in your container with what was picked the day before. Even if you were to put it in the refrigerator, it's just not going to be as fresh. You're going to lose a lot of the stuff from there. So anyway, I'm going to set this to the side, and then I'm going to get on with my work day. If I find something that I'm doing that I think is good content, I will bring you back, and we will start a whole new video. I am going to try very hard from this point forward to have more content. It has been so hard for me to do that lately, but we'll talk more about that later. So anyway, bye for now, my creative friends. I hope you try to make your own enfleurage or enfleurage. It's E-N, so I think it's enfleurage. I hope you try to make your own and that you enjoy the process. And if I wanted to, I could have taken new rose petals and done it again today. If I set this aside and when it's cooled down and set back up, if I decide, hey, it's just not quite as strong as I want it to be, you know what I can do? I can scoop it out, put it back in there, and do it some more. So anyway, the possibilities are endless. Bye for now, creative friends.